Bun găsit, doamnelor și domnilor! Astăzi vorbim despre vindecarea eterică astrală. Despre ce este vorba mai precis, vă invit să ne urmăriți. Doamne doctor, vorbim de medicina în eteric, în astral. Există așa ceva?
Da, adică vindecarea în corpurile eterice și astral, care sunt invizibile de fapt, pentru că nu le vedem. Deci am ajuns să vindecăm în medicină cauza în corpurile din jurul corpului fizic, deci de lângă corp, ca să putem să obținem de fapt rezultate în corpul fizic. Și deși pare imposibil și așa science fiction, trebuie să știți că dacă am avea ochelari speciali pentru frecvențele câmpului eteric, noi am putea să vedem corpul uman și să vedem acest corp eteric și să știți că am fi foarte diferiți. Aproape corpul uman ar fi dublat cu acest corp eteric și corp astral, deci un corp mult mai mare decât văd ochii noștri fizici și foarte viu pentru că este energetic, foarte dinamic, dacă este sănătos. Dar poate să fie și blocat. Și dacă este blocat, trebuie să știți că apar un fel de zone care băltesc energetic, stagnează și atunci poate să fie, de exemplu, o boală emoțională, pentru că se îmbolnăvește corpul emoțional, când sunt blocaje, de exemplu, din diverse situații din viața noastră. De exemplu, avem paciente care vin la noi și spun că le dor mâinile. Brațele. Trebuie să știți că brațele în general și mâinile sunt cumva în chakra inimii. Ele sunt, dacă vedeți, prelungirea iubirii. Și practic vorbim de niște energii negative la nivelul braților, la nivelul mâinilor, care se văd nu se văd în fizic, dar se văd în corpurile eteric și astral. Dacă ne uităm aici, dacă se poate eu nu să face o mărire, observăm aici cum ar arăta de fapt acest lucru pe un corp fizic. De exemplu, dacă ai probleme cu tatăl, poți să ai probleme în această zonă pelviană sau, de exemplu, probleme sexuale și atunci ar apărea ca o zonă gri în zona aceasta a creativității, la femei, de exemplu. Dacă ai o depresie sau probleme de concentrare, poți să ai probleme, de exemplu, în zona aceasta, dar și depresie în zona asta, ca un nor negru. Uitați, de zonele astea arată că, practic, sunt blocaje, sunt stagnări energetice. Sau, de exemplu, zona pieptului. Zona pieptului este legată de afectivitate, este legată de iubire, pentru că ce este în zona afectivității? Inima și plămânii. Plămânii sunt un fel de, să zicem, sunt foarte mult legați de viață, în general. Când sunt probleme pulmonare, sunt probleme care afectează grav starea de sănătate, în general. Și, de asemenea, cum spuneam, zona aceasta, care este zona tulburărilor psihice, zona depresiei. Același lucru se vede și aici, pe această imagine, nu știu dacă poți să o vizualizezi corect, să se vadă bine. Observăm aici cum arată aura unui atlet care este perfect sănătos, cam asta e normalul, iar aici observați, de exemplu, un cancer pulmonar în acest corp. Deci dacă am avea niște ochelari special, cam așa am vedea. Liniile, de exemplu, energetice sunt căzute, se vede că această persoană suferă și are o depresie. Iar aici arată o altă imagine. Arată cele două corpuri. Acesta este un corp fizic, persoana pare sănătoasă, dar corpul astral al persoanei, adică emoțional, este foarte rău. Persoana este, de exemplu, o persoană care suferă îngrozitor. Dacă vine la consultație o astfel de persoană, un aparat, de exemplu, cum este electrosomatograful, depistează și corpul fizic și corpul emoțional. Dacă ne ducem la alte aparate, se depistează decât partea fizică, nu se vede partea aceasta emoțională. Nu sunt aparate decât în medicina holistică care măsoară aceste emoții. De aceea trebuie să știți că este foarte important să depistăm aceste emoții pe care le avem și să începem să lucrăm cu corpurile astrale. De ce? Pentru că ele ne pot ajuta pe noi să vindecăm acele răni sufletești, acele traume, și am vorbit în emisiuni de cele 5 răni, da, descrise de Liz Bourbeau, și de aceea putem să lucrăm, să vindecăm acele blocaje emoționale la nivelul organelor, la nivelul celulelor, care de obicei duc la boli grave sau la tumori.
Există instrumente care pot depista și regla energetic aceste blocaje?
Da, cum spuneam, noi lucrăm deja cu electrosomatograf la fiecare consultație a unui pacient care ajunge în această clinică. Acest aparat depistează blocajele, iar și în principiu ne arată cum arată corpul emoțional, dar raiocompul este cel care vindecă, deblochează energetic, practic, aceste blocaje. Dar să știți că există și o formă naturală de energie, energia mentală, pentru că energia mentală este foarte puternică, noi știm, și dacă noi o canalizăm sub formă de intenție. Ce înseamnă intenție? Înseamnă atenție focusată, conștientă, mentală, adică ne centrăm, ne concentrăm foarte tare. Aceasta este atât de puternică, energia mentală, încât poate pune în mișcare prin simpla vizualizare și poate activa tot felul de energii din corp și programe ce stau în spatele pur și simplu corpului fizic și îl transformă, îl vindecă.
Deci, dacă ne privim mâna conștient, putem debloca energetic corpul?
Să știți că da, dar nu vă vine să credeți. Maestrii chinezi fac asta ușor. Noi am avut filmulețe și se pot vedea filmulețe în care operează în eteric, de exemplu, prin simpla concentrare, de la distanță, fără să atingă, pot să dea foc unei hârtii. Pur și simplu ia foc hârtia. Ați văzut asemenea exerciții?
Sunt magnifice.
Da, e foarte interesant. Deci, pur și simplu, nu atingi și prin puterea minții poți să faci acest lucru. Dar trebuie să știți că la fel putem să operăm în fizic, numai că nu prea știm sau nu înțelegem valoarea acestor lucruri. În corpul fizic, cum putem opera? Prin mișcare. De exemplu, dacă ne suim pe o bandă, da, de aceasta de alergare și alergăm 15 minute, sigur începe energiile din corpul fizic și din eteric să se miște, se produc deblocări prin această mișcare și atunci este ca un fel de vindecare. De aceea se recomandă sportul pentru menținerea sănătății, dar poate nimeni nu a explicat ce se întâmplă de fapt prin acest sport.
Și de ce nu o facem, dacă se poate?
Pentru că nu avem conștiința necesară să știm că este posibil și că este atât de simplu, de fapt.
Nu credem.
Exact, nu credem. Nu suntem conștienți, de fapt, cum funcționăm și de puterile noastre pe care le avem, de capacitățile noastre, pentru că noi avem foarte multe programe de autovindecare.
De ce ține acest lucru?
În primul rând ține de educație și de aceea am ales să avem emisiuni de genul acesta, pentru că este o formă de educație medicală, spirituală, dar ține și de conștiința, deci de nivelul practic spiritual al fiecărui individ în parte care ține de el, deci ține de noi înșine, de nivelul nostru, să zicem, al sinelui.
Medicii, deci, lucrează deja în corpurile eteric astral, invizibile. Dumneavoastră sunteți un exemplu în acest sens, în acest cabinet de medicină holistică.
Da, sigur că da, dar nu numai eu. Trebuie să știți că și doamna doctor Brandon Bass lucrează la fel.
Brandon, you are equivalent to 5 months pregnant with a tumor that's the size of a basketball.
The bombshell dropped on a Los Angeles summer morning in 1992.
And I said to her, oh, come on, I mean, isn't it basketball? I mean, that's a little over the top, aren't we exaggerating here? I mean, a basketball is this big. And she said, would you rather I call it a beach ball?
Brandon had been working in the field of alternative medicine for more than a decade. In fact, she had made it a career, sharing the stage with people like Anthony Robbins and Dr. Wayne Dyer, whom you've met on this program before. So she just couldn't accept that she would have to go the conventional route and possibly end up under a surgeon's knife.
And of course I was terrified. And I asked that I be given just a little bit of time, just a window of time, to try to give it my best shot. And she said, I'm a doctor, and I'm in the business of saving lives, and you need to get in the hospital today and get the test done and then get it surgically removed.
But she convinced the doctor to give her a month.
During my own healing process, I, of course, did all the things I knew to do to take care of my body. I went from 70% fresh and raw fruits and vegetables to 100%. And, you know, I lived by the sea and working out every day. But after 3 weeks, I still hadn't seen a change. I was looking vibrantly healthy, but I hadn't seen a change in my body.
That's when Brandon's healing journey changed course, and she began looking inwards.
And I knew that I somehow had to uncover what was actually stored inside that tumor, the emotional block.
Brandon faced her ghosts, and in doing so, developed a process that helped her to heal.
I actually uncovered the memory that was stored at a cellular level, and when I cleared that out, it seemed as if my body then went about the process of healing itself quite naturally.
The process which Brandon developed draws on a whole range of alternative theories, but it's rooted in the work of Deepak Chopra. He was a medical doctor and a respected American endocrinologist who came to believe that our body's cells store emotional memories. When those memories are traumatic, that can cause the cells to degenerate, resulting in physical illness.
What he didn't explain in his book is how do you get access to those cell memories, to the traumatic memories that are stored at a cellular level. And I didn't know that.
But Brandon found a way through meditation and prayer.
Immediately my skeptical thinking mind checked in and it said, oh, it can't be that memory. I know all about that memory. It's a memory of violence that took place in my childhood. And, you know, I've long since dealt with that issue. You know, I've done all kinds of therapy. But it was almost as if my thinking mind was saying, oh, you've handled that. But that my body and my soul were saying, no, you haven't handled that. And yet, when I prayed that I get a deeper understanding, the word that came up inside of me was forgiveness. And when I forgave inside, it was almost as if I stopped clinging to the tumor. I underwent every medical exam you can go. And at the end of that time, the surgeon came out and she took the pictures of my uterus and she took out a textbook. And she said, your textbook, perfect clean. Really?
Brandon took the techniques she'd used to heal herself and developed a process that others could do. She calls it the journey.
I want to give workshops to people so that they can take these tools, have hands-on tools, so that they can get access to what's stored inside the body.
To do that, Brandon scripted 2 step-by-step journey processes. Both are essentially guided meditations, but one focuses on emotional healing, while the other targets physical illness. The emotional journey guides you down a road that's signposted with unresolved issues, including those that haven't manifested in disease.
Then there's one process that I do where you're literally pulling back the emotional layers.
That meditation takes you back to the time of a specific trauma and to the feelings associated with it. The journey draws on therapies like inner child healing to help you understand why those things happened and forgive the people involved. The aim of the second process is to uncover emotional issues that have manifested in physical illness. This journey relies on visualization techniques to guide you to areas inside your body that need healing. Once you're there, follow Brandon's instructions to work your way back to the emotional trauma that caused the illness.
And what this does is it gives you just very nitty-gritty tools to get access into the root core of any issue that's in place inside your body, whether it's manifested physically or not, and to clear that out so you can come into a greater place of peace.
Dumneavoastră, cum ați constatat ca medic că puteți lucra în corpul eteric? Cum ați început?
Datorită noii aparaturi medicale cuantice. Electrosomatograful, de exemplu, lucrează mai mult în eteric, dar și în astral, în emoțional, pe când Zaito, de exemplu, lucrează predominant în emoțional. Și amândouă, bineînțeles, ne dau foarte multe informații despre corpul fizic. Electrosomatograful, de exemplu, operează și, de fapt, oferă prin această situație o bază științifică și explică, de fapt, rezultatele medicale miraculoase pe care le-ați văzut la doamna doctor Brandon Bass prin această metodă a călătoriei, adică prin autodeblocare emoțională.
Someone whose life was turned around by the journey process is British businessman Kevin Billett.
I've been suffering on and off from chronic depression since my teens. So I'd gone to my GP, I'd been to see psychiatrists, and they'd put me on Prozac, so I was just left in kind of like a black hole of despair where there just didn't seem to be any alternative other than to kill myself.
A friend told Kevin about Brandon's workshops, and after a single journey process, he threw away years of therapy as well as a whole cocktail of antidepressants.
It was as if it turned on a light inside and just undid the whole process that I'd been running on myself in order to avoid feeling the hopelessness that was there.
The experience had such an impact on Kevin that he joined Brandon and her team as a volunteer. But the story doesn't end there. He and Brandon were later married. Now they teach the journey work to people all over the world. Their most recent trip was to South Africa. We met some of the people who attended the workshops. Every one of them had suffered some kind of pain. For Judith Schlebusch, that pain was not physical. She needed emotional healing.
I had thought that the emotion that I took there would be something like grief or sadness because of my personal things. And, well, the feeling that came up was devastation.
That feeling had burdened Judith ever since tragedy turned her world upside down almost a decade ago.
My husband died very tragically, and 8 years later, when we had thought that our family was healing, my youngest daughter died and left an 18-day-old baby.
Judith wasn't alone in her search for healing.
And basically I was told I had 4 to 6 months to live. And that's when my journey began.
So when Dorette Scorthen heard about Brandon's journey work, she wanted to know more. The workshop was fully booked, but Dorette took a chance and went anyway.
So I stood in the queue and I got on the course, but not only did I get on the course, but I got in the front row.
Somewhere at the back of the room was Paul Houston. The week before Brandon arrived, Paul had been in hospital with a herniated disc.
It's an old back injury. It's about 10 years old. I actually damaged it during police training. And it's been going on and off for 10 years, living on painkillers and anti-inflammatories and so on.
Paul handled Brandon's security in South Africa. A journey process wasn't on his list of things to do.
I was just happening to talk to one of the crew that was with her. And I was kind of stretching my back, and she said to me, "What's the problem?" I said, "No, I got an old back injury, it's fine." She said, "Okay, we'll speak later." And then after the main group was done, she said, "Come with me, we're going to sort out your back."
Paul, Dorette and Judith did Brandon's healing process for different reasons, but they all found themselves on a journey that would take them to emotions long since forgotten.
It was almost a hypnotic state where they put you under and you go back to the emotion at the time of the injury. And I got a couple of issues to deal with regard to the injury, childhood issues and so on.
But in the end, did you get to the emotion?
Absolutely, yeah. There was a bit of anger, but there was a lot of confusion from the age of about 6 years old. There is a fairly abusive background. There was a lot of confusion as to why it was there. What did I do? How did I deserve this? What did I do wrong at 6 years old to be treated like this?
Dealing with those emotions is central to the healing process.
And you are just dropping through feeling after feeling until eventually you find yourself either in space or you find yourself in a wonderful feeling of source.
The process is a bit like the Chinese game of Jenga. When we chip away at the defenses that we've spent lifetimes building up, we end where we began, a place without fear, prejudice, anger or confusion. It's a place Brandon calls source.
To me, source is inside. Source is, you are your source. You are your greatest enemy and your greatest help.
It's a moment of complete stillness, of almost breathlessness, that you even expect when you're very excited. And source is different for every person, and it's different every time.
For me, it's always a light. It's a definite feeling of space with a strong light coming through, and then I know I'm at the source of who I am.
I was in a field all by myself, in a beautiful green field, and the wind was blowing and the grass was just flowing back and forth. And I was lying on my back looking up at the sky.
And once you get in touch with that peace inside, that stillness inside, that love that's inside, then that wisdom, not from your thinking mind, but a much more profound wisdom, is then able to turn the flashlight on inside and reveal what's actually stored inside the cells and to help you go about the process of clearing that out.
Getting to source, this place of wisdom and understanding, is central to both the emotional and physical processes. In the emotional journey, you get there by diving through layers of unresolved feelings. The physical journey, however, demands that you first get inside the organ that's made you sick.
And the next minute you're in the organ and you're thinking and breathing like the organ is, and the organ's starting to tell you what's created the problem.
And the physical journey, that's very exciting. It's playful, it's fun.
Ignition.
We suggest you hold on. It's quite a trip.
Lift off. Lift off.
You climb into a little spaceship, which is awesome. You can go anywhere in the body, through tissue, bone, anywhere. It's quite an imaginative trip. And you land up at the injury spot.
I went into my heart because there was a lot of unforgiveness. I was amazed at how I saw my heart and how you visualize your heart. It wasn't a heart, it was just shattered.
Meanwhile, Judith's voyage into inner space took her to an organ that had caused her a lot of physical pain.
I ended up going into a diseased lung with my little spaceship. And they discovered the memory of when I was very small.
When Judith was a child, doctors removed 1/3 of her lung. But she didn't have to relive those memories alone. A mentor joins you on your meditational travels. It can be a sage, an angel, or anyone you trust.
And this mentor was like a wizard. He took out a little flask, a beautiful, pure crystal flask with a solvent, and handed it to me. And I sprinkled that in the lung, and all the infected parts became healthy.
But the meditational voyage doesn't end inside an organ.
So you'll end up at a campfire where you discuss and talk to the people that are involved with your issue or your pain. There's a lot of forgiveness and a lot of understanding of why they did what they did.
The fireside chat is part of both the emotional and physical meditations. There you meet the people who played a part in your pain. And having experienced Source, you can now forgive them. That is the key to healing.
Everybody's forgiving each other and saying how stupid it is to carry this burden.
And to forgive is the only way you're going to recover from that injury.
For Paul, the results were almost immediate. The next day, his back was 80% better.
And since the treatment, I've tossed out the anti-inflammatories, the painkillers. I don't use the corset.
Put it away somewhere.
No, I'll put it where fate can't be tempted.
Meanwhile, Judith says the process has helped her deal with her loss.
I think I have joy back in my life. I'm interested in life again.
Deci, noi putem să avem corpul fizic sănătos, dar corpul emoțional bolnav, blocat cu anumite emoții în anumite organe.
Dar numai pentru o perioadă scurtă, deoarece dacă nu facem curat emoțional, corpul fizic se îmbolnăvește foarte repede.
Ce înseamnă eteric?
Corpul eteric sau energetic.
Corpul astral?
Corpul astral înseamnă corpul emoțional.
Deci vorbim de energii și de emoții, dar psihologul nu se ocupă de emoții?
Da, se ocupă de emoții, într-adevăr, să zicem că le identifică împreună cu pacientul, lucru care este foarte bine, dar problema rămâne, pentru că, de fapt, ce trebuie să se întâmple este să le scoatem aceste emoții din corp, din organe, din celule chiar. Și acest lucru este deja mai complicat, pentru că o să vedeți că ele sunt foarte adânci.
Și uneori sunt straturi de emoții adunate odată cu problemele noastre.
Exact, sunt straturi. Ați spus foarte bine. De fapt, sunt lecții neînțelese de noi, lecții ale vieții, un fel de baraje emoționale puse în calea dezvoltării noastre spirituale, dar și a sănătății noastre.
Vă invităm într-o călătorie, și nu spun degeaba acest cuvânt, într-o călătorie într-o lume minunată. Într-o lume minunată pe care o femeie pe un sfert româncă a descoperit-o acum 30 și ceva de ani, de fapt o călătorie perfect naturală a corpului nostru către noi încine. Și am marea plăcere să-i spun bine a venit chiar aici în platoul Canal 33, fondatoarei The Journey. Dacă vă amintiți, am vorbit la Sănătatea Trup și Suflet despre această metodă de întoarcere către sine, de eliberare emoțională, de vindecare și până la urmă de a ajunge la acea pace cu noi înșine și de deblocare a tuturor lucrurilor care ne stau parcă în calea împlinirii noastre. În această seară, alături de noi, Brandon Bass. De aici încolo discuția se va purta în limba engleză. Hello and welcome, Brandon.
Thank you. It's amazing how much I understood of that.
We discovered step by step that the journey actually is a natural method that our body has. How is that, and how come we don't know anymore how to use it naturally?
You know, it was born, as you know, from my direct experience of healing naturally from a basketball-sized tumor without drugs of surgery. And one of the things that happened is I found a means for all of us, a method for all of us to go on our internal journeys inside our bodies and uncover what are called old repressed cell memories. And what we know about the emotions, and you're asking why have we lost touch with this natural way of healing. And what we know about the emotions is that when we feel, and what science knows, is strong emotion, and we repress it, it releases a biochemistry into the body which will go to certain cell receptors and block them, rendering those cells incapable of communicating with the rest of the cells in the body. And if over time illness happens, it happens where the cells are blocked. And conversely, what medical science has found is that when we feel our emotions naturally like a child does, you know, our cell receptors remain open, and they can watch that in the laboratory. But what happened to all of us is we lost touch with our emotions. And it was the kind of thing that we may have been 3 years old, at Suria's age, you know, or she's 2 years old, crying about something. And mother said, no, 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 dry your tears, we've got to get to kindergarten. And the first shutdown happened. We got it, not just intellectually, but we got it physically, that certain emotions are allowed and other emotions are not allowed. And so as we began to shut down our emotions, you shut one emotion down, you end up shutting them all down. And in that process, we lost touch with not only who we are, but how we feel. It was interesting today at a press conference, one woman said, I don't even know how to feel. And it's not just here in Romania. It's every country I go to, of the 48 countries that we travel to and offer the journey to. It doesn't matter if it's Eastern countries, Western countries, whether I'm in India, whether I'm in Africa, whether I'm in Australia, whether I'm all over Europe. All of us as a humanity have unfortunately lost touch with how we really feel inside. And the journey, it just gives you a very practical method to get in touch with yourself again and to uncover how you really feel and to clear, as you said earlier, whatever blocks you so that the natural, authentic self can live your life.
But the most common comment I get is that I don't want to feel anything because I suffered too much.
I'm afraid.
Suffering. It's just, I don't want to feel anything, even if I cannot remember how love feels like or freedom is, but at least I don't feel sufferance.
Yeah, it is true. I mean, there's an epidemic of depression in our world. And what happens, what they know that happens, is when you think a negative thought and it gets released, that biochemistry goes to the cell receptors and blocks them. And all of us produce natural serotonin, which is a natural opiate drug that makes you feel joy, you feel bliss with serotonin. But when the serotonin, it's produced by your brain, gets released, and the cells are blocked and they can't uptake the serotonin. And so then you feel more depressed. So you think more negative thoughts, more biochemistry gets released, and pretty soon we're living in a world where we can't even feel the happy emotions anymore, as you said. We can't feel the joy, we can't feel the love, we can't feel freedom. All we feel is just shut down and blocked. And what the journey is designed to do, and of everything that it works with, we get the greatest results with depression, is that it gives you a method to go inside and get to the root cause of what put that surface depression, that numbness, that blanket of shutdown in place. So you get underneath the blanket of numbness that you have in your life, and you get to the emotional root cause. And when you finally release that stored consciousness and all the pain and and come to a place of understanding and ultimately forgiveness of what's happened to you in your life, forgiveness of God, of life, of yourself, of other people, then what happens is when new cells are born, they are born free from that old consciousness. And so it allows you to be more free emotionally. Not only that, but as you start to befriend your emotions, you realize that they are the gateway to your inner self, to the soul. And in the past, it's like you feel an emotion, it's like, smoke it away, or drink it away, or get on Facebook, get on Google, call a friend, go to the movies, watch television until you can't even see anymore. Anything to avoid feeling an emotion. And so the journey gives you a gentle but very effective way to not only feel your emotions, but get to the root of what put them in place. So that when you finally clear it at the deepest level, you don't find the anger coming up all the time. You don't find
Which
the
is
devastation.
chasing you. Yeah, the feeling was the anger or the sadness or whatever it is was chasing after me all the time. And I was blocking because I know how to put masks. But I felt that they are there.